Hi, Chloe.
Hi. Hi, it's so nice to meet you guys. How are you?
So nice to meet you too.
How are you?
I I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to talk to y'all about this movie. It was such a fun watch, and one of my favorite things about the whole experience of watching it was how realistically messy it made dating feel. Or
Yeah.
it felt really realistic in that way. And to kind of start, I'd love to hear if there's any particular like awkward dates that you've been on that you use to kind of inform your performances or experiences that it kind of brought to mind?
Ooh, I I don't know if I have like any specifics, but I think in general, like we all do this. We all sort of reminisce or romanticize or in a negative way, like live in our past relationships. And I think that that is what both Jane and Will have been doing. They haven't really healed themselves. And so through telling these stories, it's like they get to make sense of how these people and these loves and these heartbreaks changed their lives and have molded them into who they are today. I mean, it definitely got me thinking about my real life and like, ooh, and it got me thinking like how I used to dress like certain boyfriends or pick up habits from certain people. Or I definitely have one person in my life where like that was the bookmarker, like the one that like flipped my world upside down when that ended. So yeah, I think this movie is going to get people thinking about that a lot, which I think is very healthy.
I totally agree. It's almost the opposite. This movie is almost the opposite of an awkward date where you're having a hard time being vulnerable and you don't really know what to talk about. Whereas these two, instead of, having sex in the coat closet, they end up just saying, let's just bear all. And in a certain way, this might be a healthy way for people to really connect, is to be totally brutally honest.
They're all figuratively and literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Ew.
So
And talking about memorable experiences, that coat closet scene is definitely a memorable part of the movie. And I'd love to hear about filming that. Did you have any funny stories from filming that?
Apparently it's Gail King's favorite scene in the movie.
I met Gail King the other day and she
Gail
loved
King was
the
like
movie and
super turned
she
on.
was like very excited about this coat
She
closet
was
scene.
like really into it. I
So,
love it.
true story, that was the first scene we shot together, right? No, it was the first day of filming. I think it was our
Yeah.
second scene we shot with each other,
And what a way
which
to start.
like you'd save those more intimate scenes for later on in filming, but I think Peter, the director's mentality around it was that they're just meeting for the first time anyway. But yeah, that was
I
how we.
loved it because it kind of jumped us. It jumped us into it. And we just had to kind of dive in. And also, I've been dying to work with Lucy for like 10 years. And
Mhm.
as soon as I saw that that it was a romantic comedy and that Lucy Hale was attached, I was like, I got to be part of this, and I'm gonna get to kiss Lucy Hale.
And we're shooting the coat closet first. That was
Yeah.
his request,
It was in
actually.
my contract. In my contract, it said
Yeah.
day.
Absolutely. So talking about all of this, like the just to continue that example of just the messiness of dating, what would your advice be for people who might have an awkward date to not let them get discouraged in the dating scene because it's rough out here?
Uh, Trust me, I get it. I think, wait, what was the question? What would be my advice to people dating? I
Like
mean,
if they have an awkward situation to not let it like discourage them.
Right, right.
I mean, I don't know. I always have the attitude of if something isn't right, it just makes more space for the right people to come into your life. So if there's a bad date, it's just like not in alignment with who you are. What is the quote like? Rejection is God's protection. And I
I like
really
the
believe
dance
that.
moves of it.
Yeah, and this rejection is God's
Protection, God's protection.
but
I
I do
love
think
that.
that's real.
Protection.
I think that if a date goes wrong or if you're not hearing if someone ghosts you, like that's actually a good sign. Like thank the universe and say it's just making space for like the right people that are supposed to be in your life. The people that are supposed to be in your life, guess what? You're not gonna have to chase them. You're not gonna have to
Mm.
beg them. They're gonna want to be in your life.
Chloe, what was the last awkward date you were on?
Let me think.
What about you now?
Thankfully, I was gonna say, what about you? I think
Lucy.
probably when I was like a freshman in college, usually they're not too bad, thankfully.
Yeah, freshman in college. I think that I actually just agree with everything that Lucy said, and that Scott.
Rejection is God's protection.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I think y'all need like a dating talk show. That
I
was great
agree.
advice.
Oh, but we just do this. Rejection is God's protection. That's the theme song. Rejection is God's protection. Lucy Hale and Nat Wolff dating show. I love it.
I have a lot of good advice and a lot of probably really bad advice too, but I don't know. That's part of it though. You go through it and you
She's
figure out
really into stalking. That's her thing. She likes to
inter
stalk. If like a guy,
internet stalking. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely internet
No,
stalking.
like human
Like,
stalking. She's really into like following someone home from
yeah, sit
work
outside their
and
window,
just kind
Yeah,
of like
sit in the tree,
for
wait
makes
for
her
sure.
them
eyes
to
really
fall.
wide.
Yeah,
She sits at the window like.
yeah. Throw
For
rocks at
sure,
their
for sure.
window.
Lucy's been arrested 7 different times,
It's
but
actually 8,
she's gonna
but
find love. Oh, eight,
I
eight,
just
right.
got bailed out this morning, so
Right.
I made it in time.
It sounds like this could be like the next script that y'all work on. You're like, it's
Sounds-
writing itself right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's a documentary.
Yeah.
So if you guys had to get to know someone in the course of 24 hours, like your characters do, what kinds of conversations or questions would you prioritize to really form like a genuine connection with them?
Well, I think everything I'd go for the heavy hitters, like tell me about your mom and dad and your relationship to your mom and dad, because I
Ooh.
think that
Absolutely.
your
Ooh, that's
childhood
really good.
shapes who you are as a person. Like, I don't know this, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but like you between
Wait,
the
Lucy,
of,
you're not a
I
scientist?
know it's a big surprise. It's a big shock to all here. But I think between the ages of like 3 and
I've been fed a
7,
lie. Like this whole time
you,
I've been fed a lie.
you're missing some really good
Sorry, sorry,
information.
sorry. Go, go, go.
Between the ages of like 2 and 6 is when, or 2 and 5 is when we're absorbing who we're going to be. That's when we start learning about like ego and relationship dynamics with your parents. And so I think I would, if I were getting to know someone and I only had 24 hours, I'd go straight for tell me about your childhood.
Mm.
Good stuff. Anyway.
What about you now? What would you ask?
That's a really, really good one. But I don't really remember anything from 2 to 5. That's a problem. I kind of
Yeah,
my
but your
memory kind of
subconscious, your
no,
subconscious.
oh my God, for sure. I'm just saying, if you had said like tell me something from 2 to 5, I'd say I kind of
I
vaguely
wouldn't. I
remember
would say
going
tell me
to
about your
the Native
childhood.
American show that we went to in a bubble. I have like little random memories from my childhood. And then I start remembering at 5. I remember because I lived on the 5th floor and I was 5 and I thought, this is amazing. I can't believe that I am 5 years old and I live on the 5th floor. That's like really my clearest first memory. There we
Very
go.
formative.
Yeah.
Once again, 5 and 5.
5.
Um, and so for the last question, I would love to know which of your both of your past characters do you think would get along with Will and Jane the most? Because you played a lot
Oh,
of iconic characters that
which past
we all
characters that we
love.
play.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a good question. Like, who would be in like a throuple with Will and Jane?
No, like in a different. Oh my God.
Sure.
Sure. No, I mean, like, who would they like to hang out with? Um,
No, no,
Just a
no, no,
nice
no.
coffee.
Saying before that Will and Jane meet, who would they have dated? That not a throw.
oh, I thought you meant. Oh,
Or
God.
No,
just
like
like who
which
would they like
girl?
get
She's
like
saying like
hang
which
out with?
girl did you play? Like would Katie Keene like Will, or like would yeah, that kind of question.
Aria would like Will a lot.
Who's Aria from Pretty Little Liars?
You know, Nat knows nothing about my career
I've
or
seen every single thing you've done except for Pretty
Aria
Little.
was Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, she would
Um,
like Will.
I think Jane would like your Paper Towns character. What was his?
Mm.
But he
I
was
think she'd break his heart really bad.
yeah, but younger Jane and Paper Towns, they'd be cute.
Really? I think she would like, I feel like Jane liked some really messed up guys. You would like my Palo Alto character. You like a real
I love that movie.
dark guy.
You know what I love about your career? You'll just mention something and you're like, yeah, I was in that. You've been in so many cool things.
I did a lot of stuff. I've done a lot, and so have you. We basically, Lucy and I have been working since we were 2 to 5, whatever.
Yeah.
It explains a lot, which
That's
explains
the formative experience.
yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, congrats on this movie, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with
Chloe,
me.
good luck in the dating world. I think you're gonna do great.
She